Catholic Courses presents Dante's Purgatory, a study on Part 2 of the Divine Comedy, taught for you by Professor Anthony Esolen. Lecture 1, Cantos 1 through 4, On the Shores of a New World.
Welcome to Catholic Courses. I'm your professor, Dr. Anthony Esolen, and I will be your guide as we accompany the great poet Dante as he and his own guide, Virgil, make their way up the mountain of Purgatory. We're now beginning the second canticle of the Divine Comedy, Dante's epic poem of sin and salvation. When we began the Inferno, the first canticle, we found the pilgrim Dante lost in a dark woods. He had wandered from the narrow way that leads to joy. He would have forever been thwarted in the natural human quest for fulfillment. In other words, he would have lost what he calls the good of the intellect, the face-to-face vision of God for which we are made. He would have lost that had it not been for the intervention of the Blessed Beatrice. She descended to the rim of hell, the limbo where dwell the virtuous pagans, whose only sin was that they did not give God the homage that he is due, because they had not been granted the great gift of faith. And there Beatrice begged Virgil, the ancient pagan poet Virgil, to go to Dante's assistance. Virgil was the great poet of ancient Rome. He had celebrated the piety of his hero Aeneas, who had sailed with his fellow refugees from the devastated city of Troy to settle in a new homeland. Dante, too, is on a journey, and he, too, is a refugee from a city, Florence, whence he was driven out in one of that city's common upheavals of partisan politics. And he, too, is searching for a city, not a new Florence in some land far away, but the true and only blessed city, the city of God. As he did in the Inferno, then Dante begins the Purgatory by referring to a journey. But unlike the Inferno, the Purgatory does not begin by describing the dire straits of a lost pilgrim. As we shall see, Purgatory is not a pale shadow of hell. It is not low carbohydrate damnation. Indeed, all the souls in purgatory are blessed. They dwell in a state of grace. They are protected from sin, and they will all enter paradise one day. Therefore, Dante begins this canticle as if it were a hymn, full of mystery and beauty and wonder. Listen to what he says. My little ship of ingenuity now hoists her sails to speed through better waters, leaving behind so pitiless a sea. And I will sing about that second realm, given the human soul to purge its sin and grow worthy to climb to paradise. He is singing. Note that well. But he is not singing by his own unaided power. For the Inferno, he had to rack his brains to pen the poetry of death. But now poetry itself is exalted. Ma qui la morte posire surga, he cries out in Italian. Here, rise to life again. Dead poetry. That summons is exactly right. For this is in fact Sunday morning. It is the day of Easter. Every soul we'll encounter on Purgatory Mountain dwells within that day of resurrection, within that Easter. And every soul looks forward to that final purging, when the souls will at last be scrubbed clean so they may too rise. Dante calls upon the holy muses to assist him in his song. And that means more than that he desires inspiration for his craft. He wishes to give himself entirely to them. I am yours, he says. O holy muses, I am yours. He is begging for divine vision to see what man on his own cannot see. And so, before he describes the ground where he is standing.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?